Hello, welcome back to the Speaking of Tea podcast, where we talk about all things tea, poetry, and the lifestyle surrounding the two. I'm your host, Rochelle, and I am an author, a healer, and tea artist. Oh, yes, I've never called myself a tea artist before, but hey, why not? Master steeper, if you will. No, honestly, I'm trying to remain humble here, but there are many people who have told me that I made them the best cup of tea they've ever had in their life. And that's not just young people, to be clear. That is full on adults. Not old people. Maybe a couple, I don't know. I'm just making things up now. Hi. It's the evening. I'm having some tea and doing a podcast. It's my second tea of the day. I'm doing some show pour. This morning I was introducing a friend to some sheng puerh that I had earlier. I call that one the bonus tea because I found that in a backpack of things that I was cleaning. I was cleaning out my laundry room, which became a storage room and of sorts. It does both purposes because you got to fit things somewhere in houses, right? Anyway, as I was clearing things out, I opened up this backpack and I found a puerh cake. Oh, I hadn't even thought about it for a while, but anyway, it was really exciting to find because that just made I got bonus tea. Oh. my throat's kind of been going this past week. I'm working it out. But that's why my squeals are not as high. So maybe your ears are being preserved right now. So today I'm having a show pour. I did already start doing a few steeps earlier as I was getting this whole podcast set up. And here we are back into steep. Probably 4, possibly 5. I don't know. But the point is we're speaking about tea and we're not drinking a whole ton of tea, right? No, that doesn't even sound right. What am I, the hell am I even talking about? We talk about tea and we drink tea on this podcast. That's it. Simply put, that's what other purpose was there? A lot of purposes. It's time for me to have some tea, honestly. Sorry, I smashed the microphone. If you hear that in the recording, I apologize for your ears. So, learn. This tea tray was just made for me recently. Now it's a bit hard to, and I can't grab the camera. I'm too far away. But it's this nice live edge piece of wood, and it's been nicely sanded down and stained. It's quite nice. So I first kind of set it up and took a picture of it with all the glass teaware. It's got this like set of glass cups and the glass gong dao by. Oh no, I got the. I'm so sorry. Fairness picture. Well, then there's my Gaiwan I'm using. So anyway, it was a nice display having the wood, glass, brass, and clay in the display just to kind of show off what the table is. It's quite nice. I was kind of taking it for a test earlier to see its durability or if its stainability really was more of my thing. It was gifted to me and I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay, wait, hold on. Before I steep with it, listen, we have to, if you're, it doesn't, it just looked like such a clean, like, sanding on the surface. I didn't realize that there was any kind of a finish or a stain on it. So anyway, I'm just like, okay, listen, so this is going to get stained with tea, you know, every time I pour it and there's going to be drops and it's going to be, so, you know, we before I use it, is your intention that we color it with tea? Or he's like, no, there's like 3 coats of finish. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I guess we're good then. Yeah. And so, you know, I texted with the sheng puerh earlier, which is like, you know, pretty, yeah, it gets like yellowiness, but it's kind of more clear when it falls onto the surface. But the show puerh, now this is the actual test. So far so good. It's, you know, it's just on the surface. I can wipe it off. We'll see as things dry or as it, you know, kind of develops. I'm just gonna rub it into here and see what happens. Can always resand it and stuff, but kind of the fun of it would also be that we'd be watching the development of the table from, being used over time, right? Like the crackle style, like teacups. That was like my first set. So the teapot and the set of teacups all had like a crackle kind of. If you've seen it, you know what I mean, right? So, which I find really cool because over time, the cracks deepen and get, well, smaller and a lot more like so much more pattern or ornateness kind of develops in them over time. So it's just really cool to see like one of them that's like maybe been used less, and then another one that's just like really rich in, like show pour somehow. Like it's polished, it's glazed. I don't understand it entirely, but you can see where the show pour gets into the cracks and shows itself more, right? Like it's like a light purple, these cups to start, and then it gets to a darker purple and more lines within it. So anyway, it's really cool. Especially you can see it in like the lid of the teapot because that doesn't really get like steep, but then the teapot itself is just like so much going on. No, like the one time, and I'd only had the thing for like within 2 years, but like I did mushrooms and I was looking at the cup and I was just so enthralled and entranced by all the crackles that have developed. I'm like, oh my gosh, it just shows I've been using it for so long, and now it's like 5 years later, so like even more so. I haven't checked up on that with mushrooms for, maybe I should. Okay, I'm gonna drink this now. Hola. Oh my god. Okay, this is like 12, 13 year aged show pour here, from a 2012 cake. And wow, that just like it hits me different ways. Okay, it's cooled down a little bit, and as I said, I'm in a later steep with it, but like that like had so much umami and smoothness. It kind of made me think of almonds as I sipped it, but there's also like kind of chocolatiness as well. And like what was I getting earlier? Yeah, I can't remember right now. But anyway, that was cool. But then it also made me think of like of whiskey actually, that sip. I got it like kind of got a liquor kind of taste. Patisserie. I don't know why that word came up, but patisserie. Oh, I would love to just sit at a patisserie and drink some nice chaud pour. You know, those two things I don't think ever go together. Not that I'm in France and have had the chance to explore a whole bunch of tea shops, but you know, yeah. I mean, usually those shops are really just go in and you get your dessert, eat it somewhere else. But it'd be really nice to like have some nice fine French desserts with chaud pour. I know in pairings we can get like some nice oolongs going for different desserts too. Oh, I'm in dreamland right now. I want chocolate cake and chaud pour. Oh, it's everything to not get up and just start baking in the kitchen right now. It's just so I can enjoy this. Oh my my. No, well, it's fun. I want to show you actually. I swear the next steep I'm gonna drink it right away. So let me just. What I've been doing with my used tea cakes, and you can do this too. Or you can do a whole thing where you send me your used tea cake wrapper, and I can do this for you. But anyways, laminating. Okay, so this is. I mean, I have a few of these mini cakes here. I got like a whole I got a whole tong of these back a while ago, so I've been slowly chipping my way through. Anyway, so this is my 2012 cake from. Yep, we'll also get back to you on that. I think the Yi Dian Hung, yeah, the Yi people area in Yunnan, China, and yeah, it's like a nice chocolatey dark. Anyways, it's really fun that I've figured out to like laminate these because I want to preserve the cakes, the wrappers, because we've gone through a whole journey together. This is what I'm getting at. All right, we're coming back to the point. Well, we've gone through a whole journey together, and I love the wrappers. I mean, this isn't super something, but at least it's nice to save one because I've got, like, as I said, I've gone through a bunch of them. But like this one, this one was an impression style label from Yunnan Sourcing. They have a whole line of ones that they are called like the impression puerh. Anyway, so this is one of them. We've gone on a long journey together, so it was really cool to actually finish it off. I believe it was a shang puerh. I love that. Oh my gosh, sorry. A YouTube notification popped up, probably from a karaoke video that I put up. And so it was somebody's comment that said, "So bad." Thank you. Whoever you are, you just made history. Okay. All right, this is a 2014 Rob Puerh cake. This one's fun. This one's really fun because it kind of matches with my favorite handmade tea tray is. So I really like being able to preserve that. And I even got a little thing, the label on the back here, so I can actually remember what the thing was. Also from Yunnan Sourcing, a kuzu shan. This is a 2020 cake. And I have and now I'm also putting them up on the wall over my little spiritual corner here. And yeah, I got a whole bunch now. Oh, I love it. I love it. So now I have some tea cakes from a bunch of animal zodiac years in a row, which is fun for me because I haven't otherwise just like memorized the order of the animal zodiacs. I don't know. It's just one of those things. It's like very aware, but also taking my time. I think not last podcast, but the one before that, I was explaining the system that I came up with to remember the monthly zodiacs. Oh my gosh, what do I even call these? I'm sorry. Right, but the order of the year cycle, it starts with Aries, Taurus, and so on, right? So I finally found a way to memorize that by remembering fire, earth, air, water in a row, and then just categorizing each of the 12 in that kind of system. Anyway, so it's been fun having these puerh cakes as reference for me now because now I'm associating the tea that I've been drinking with the year that the label is of the animal. So there's a lot of different ones that are that the art is of the animal for that year that it's produced, right? So that's pretty fun. So right now I have in order, pig is my earliest. Well, I mean, I have this one from like 2014. It's not in order and it's not animal, but whatever. So 2019, pig. I have a pig label one. And then here's my 2020 with the rats. I got an ox one that's also got like the yin-yang thing going on, 2 oxes. It's cool. That's our 2021. 2022 is the tiger. Yeah, I do have one. Yeah. It's like a red tiger. Yeah. Right. And then 23 was the rabbit. And, bonus, the fun part is that I love bunnies. And the year of the rabbit actually landed on my birthday on January 22nd, in 2023. So that was really cool. And I had the tea house open and I had a whole party and bunnies. So we got to celebrate bunnies and my birthday and, Chinese New Year and all the things. So in my tea house, that was super awesome. So 2023 was bunnies. Now that's the latest that I have currently. I never ended up buying one yet from 2024. That's our dragon. Now we're at the year of the snake. So now, I'm catching up. Now. I'm always aware every year now of what the animal is. So yeah, now I had to pick up a couple of those. But I mean, this actually has a little dragon on it. It's a 2012. And then obviously 12 years later, 2024 is the dragon. So, I mean, I have that as kind of a reference at this point. So I really do need a snake one. I think there's some really cool labels. I'm buying the tea for the tea. partially for the label. You gotta like both, right? It's not true that we don't just pick up a book based on the cover, right? Judge a book by its cover. I'm judging the tea partially by its cover. They're cool, you know. The one time I called my friend frantically when I was looking at tea cakes from 2023. I messaged my friend, or maybe sent her like a voice note. I'm very frantic. Jen, I need help deciding between space bunnies. This girl doesn't always answer her phone or messages. It can be months till you hear from her. Whatever, she's great, right? So then, but she did answer me like right away. She's like, Rochelle, I felt the urgency. Space bunnies, tell me more. Thank you so much. I needed your help. So I also have I have 2 cakes. I actually got 3 rabbit cakes that year. Yeah. So there's another one. It's like bunnies in a spacesuit on the moon. You kind of got the blue sky night background. You got the moon, and then there's like a bunny inside of the spacesuit having tea. You see it in the helmet. So great, so cute. That's the one I went with. It was a good one. It was alright. I could have gone for the other one actually, but there's something in the description that really got me. But see, sometimes you gotta really pay attention to I thought the description of the tea was better than when it arrived. I'm just trailing off here. Whatever. I'm gonna go for another steep. Ooh, no, go back in. I was just thinking of sharing with you a kind of, it's a poem that I wrote earlier in the month. It's October 18th right now, so I'm looking at October 8th. That's when I wrote this. I believe it was during my coaching session with my client, and I think I was just kind of encouraging him to just kind of, turn off the logical part of the brain and then just allow words to flow, It's part of what I do in my coaching sessions, because, you can be overthinking things. You might not know what to write. Part of what I encourage is, okay, now turn off, listen, allow. So anyway, during that, I also then did it for myself, because why not? Remember the whole thing where I was going to steep it and drink it right away? I almost missed it, but I got it. Sink, manifest, sing. Along the lines of temptation, certainty hides behind a veil. Thin, soft, smoky, trailing off in directions, fading from sight. The deeper the sands, longer time lasts, imperceptible, yet eternal, swallowed whole by possibility and reckless desire. Forgetting how, peace is mindless, or rather, mindful. Is this a choice to make or a state to follow? Remember life, forget decay, or you'll only shrivel faster. Belong to your wholeness, expect emptiness. There you'll discover embodiment. The idea of this piece is kind of a representation of the actual, of like what I was describing, of turning off your mind and allowing that flow. Sink, manifest, sing along the lines of temptation. Temptation being anything that is pulling your attention into any which direction. Certainty hides behind a veil. So the idea of being certain about a thing is then being actually held behind the veil, right? So it's not fully revealed. It's almost like in having so much certainty, you are keeping yourself away from that which is not certain. And that which is not certain is still as strong and powerful thing, a very impactful thing, because even when we have all the answers, we don't necessarily have all of the answers, and we're kind of lying to ourselves to believe that we actually know everything. If this is making sense. All right. Imperceptible yet eternal, swallowed whole by possibility. So that you may be able to perceive a thing, but you cannot perceive a thing in its entirety. You are only one perspective. And the swallowed whole by possibility, it's like you are only able to provide one perspective to a thing and understand it, because somebody else is obviously going to be perceiving it in another way. So there is an eternal presence to what a thing actually is, and the possibility of it is like kind of almost sinking into a dark hole of that eternity. Are we following? Does it kind of make sense? And to relate that to that kind of turning off the mind, and you know, it's this idea of like how we can overthink a thing to make it eventually make it different from its true state. Maybe the true state is emptiness, is that blankness. That's what your wholeness really is, perhaps. Source. Remember life, forget decay, or you'll only shrivel faster. Belong to wholeness. Expect emptiness. I like moments like that. You belong to everything, but expect the emptiness. There you'll discover embodiment. So when you expect the emptiness, you find more of what you really belong in body. So hopefully I kind of pulled that full circle. Anyway, just wanted to share that one. And, okay. Here's something else I wanted to share. Okay, so I was at a new tap house here in Port Alberni yesterday, and it's interesting. It's a different kind of environment, sitting up at the bar stool and hanging out there. Very, very nicely designed. You kind of get the feel like you're in a train, actually, because of this like very long, narrow hallway filled with booths on one side, the bar on the other side. Nicely lined taps, and just a very fancier atmosphere than, well, I tend to go to this bar at the next level. Big open room, stage, pool tables. It's a bar, right? So this is a different environment, and I felt like pulling out my journal. And I wrote this. Okay, ready. Upon a hard day's light. Title. Looking for inspiration there, but it wasn't right there. When we go searching, forcing reality to supply us with the answers, we get none. However, setting intentions and asking the right questions, reward comes more naturally. Is that the same? Have I undone my first declaration, or just been sailing the waters of Puerh Alberni? Okay, so the fun part is the beer, calling it Upon a Hard Day's Light is because a hard day's light is the beer that I was drinking in the moment of writing this poem. And then there's this kind of like confusion of intention or what I was really trying to say, or if it came out wrong or whatever, and blah blah blah, or just been sailing the waters of Puerh Alberni. So then the Puerh Alberni was the beer that I was drinking previous. So the idea is that you're with me here. The idea is that first I was drinking the Puerh Alberni, and if I got a little bit drunk when I was drinking that, and then I came to write the poem Upon a Hard Day's Light, then then we have our answer. If it's not coming out right, it's because I was already drinking that one, right? So I came from the title full circle to the beer that was drunk previous, that was in the system. Voila. That's something I wanted to kind of share and express because I'm running a poetry contest called My Poetry Era, for you to submit poems on 3 topics: the void, the path, the destination. Submissions are still open. And so I think there's a lot of people who kind of make it hard to write poetry. And, I mean, it's not simple, like, boom, I have a beautiful poem, right? Like, I'm even questioning the previous one that I had written. It was showing, right? Like, I'm not entirely sure how to define it. I'm not sure if it really came out exactly as I would intentionally. If I look closer at it, it's going to take some editing. That's fine, right? And so people are nervous about, one, if it's going to turn out okay or if it's going to suck. Two, another thing, people are like, oh yeah, I don't know, like, poetry, I'm gonna have to rhyme. And I'm like, ugh, rhyming, no, don't do that. You can, but don't make poetry hard because you're just trying to make it rhyme. That's not what a poem is, right? It's what you're trying to get across. It's to say something in a more creative manner. It can be about the imagery more so than a message, right? There's message, sure, there's an intention behind each poem. There's stories behind poems. Doesn't mean that it has to rhyme or that it has to have a life lesson to it. You know what I mean? So the point to say that is, like, this doesn't have a life lesson. This was just some wordplay. I was playing with the idea that I was the wordplay was coming from also the titles of the beers that were there for me to use. So, a Hard Day's Light. I'm like, that's fun. Okay, let me play with the title of that and make it my title. And then with the Sailing the Waters of Port Alberni, where we are a port town. There are ships sailing through, we're in the middle of the island, so they're coming from Banfield into the Alberni Inlet. So I got to play with the fact that we are a water-based town and sailing the waters, or, well, been drinking it, right? So that was the fun that I kind of wanted to share because, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different ways a poetry can go. It can be dark and depressing. I love that. Just make it come across well and not corny. Really. Let me put it that way. Don't be corny about your darkness. Mm-hmm. But I love a good dark poem. I talk about death all the time, just for example. I have a lot of great dark humor in me. Right? It doesn't have to be any particular thing. It just needs to, well, catch my attention. I want to appreciate your style. I want to appreciate seeing your voice, your perspective, maybe your unique experience. And then it can also be something fun, like what I just did here. It just depends. Is your void fun? Sorry. Wow, I got myself with that one. It's not something I ever expected I would say. Is your void fun? Oh, man. Maybe the path is fun. Maybe the destination is fun. Maybe they all are. Maybe they're all dark. Maybe they're all... It doesn't have to be light. It doesn't have to be funny. It doesn't have to be dark. Be, like, literally any mood you have. That's what I'm looking for. It's just hearing from you. So, anyways. I'm going to keep putting it out there, though. Encourage people. Please send some poetry to submit. And I totally want to see you open up that part of your mind and your heart. Writing poetry. We're going to have a collective. Like, we're going to be published in a book. Right? So, like, I'm so excited to be running this. The submissions are open till November 3rd. It is possible that I push back the the submission due date might even go into the end of November, mid-November, end of November. We'll see. But deadlines are nice, right? Deadlines get you thinking and make you work on it. Again, it doesn't need to be all completely perfectly done because we'll be coaching to perfect and refine those pieces or re-inspire you. You know, your original piece might not even be the one that you end up using in the publication because you're like, you know what? Going through this, seeing from other writers, I think my poem on the destination can be actually way different than what I originally did here. So that's really cool. And anyways, I need to see the transformation of your poem from the original submission into the end product because unfortunately the answer to that is AI. You know, I am because I don't if I don't know you personally, I don't know your writing style. I just can't, with integrity, publish something that I haven't witnessed the transformation of. That's what part of what the coaching program is about. Because I'm not going to publish something that a computer wrote. Why would I do that? You know, I'm stepping into a publishing company in this very, I was about to say fragile state, and we can say fragile state of there being artificial intelligence out there. I don't want books written by AI. My point has always been to be closely connected to humanity, to our human possibility, what we can do, what we can produce, staying true to ourselves as creators and producers, and not letting the machines take over our lives. Using them for the tools that they do provide for us when it is useful and necessary at times. I mean, necessary, it really depends on it depends, right? But obviously you're not seeing me post on social media things that a computer has written because a computer's never going to figure out what Rochelle is and what's going to make her randomly giggle anyway, so that doesn't have any help for me. But if I need to like get a legal document done up, then I don't have a lawyer to call, you know, just something, right? Great, I can ask it to help me out. I'm trailing off into an AI discussion here all on my own, so not really the point of this conversation. The conversation is supposed to be the point, I think, was supposed to be pour cakes in poetry, right? Maybe went a couple other places. But anyway, I am going to leave you off with that little thought salad. All right, keep drinking tea, keep being inspired, and I have a new service that I'm going to be releasing pretty soon here. Extremely unique, and true to Vancouver Island. Okay, maybe I'll give you a little teaser. Rare tea, rare water. There is water that has won a lot of rewards. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna get into it. I'm gonna leave you there, actually. Okay. Happy steeping. Take care. Cheers.